have it all. I can have it all.
Hello, everybody. This is Christy Whitman with the Quantum Success Show, where you can get your information and inspiration to create your desires. And as you can see, I have a friend. This is Dayne. He is actually an award-winning Canadian entrepreneur and filmmaker who dedicated his life to making movies that help people to follow their dreams. Riley is primarily known as the creator of the hit movie, The Abundance Factor. And his mission is to positively impact 1 billion lives by 2025. So welcome, Riley.
Thank you very much for having me. Very excited to be here. I'm
excited to have you too. You know, abundance for me, when I found out that you made the movie and I saw it, it was brilliant. Of course, I wasn't in it, but we'll forgive you on that. No, I'm just kidding. No, abundance is such a huge thing for me because it was always such a sore spot for me. Mm-hmm. And for me, I really feel like like the Course in Miracles talks that there's two primary emotions, fear and love. I feel like at the bottom of fear and everything that exists is either the perspective of lack or the perspective and the energy and the whole belief system, the whole alignment with abundance. And lack always feels bad. Abundance always feels good. And for me, in my mind, to simplify it like that, it's been my mission to eradicate lack and limitation in my own perspective and mindset, and just as the energy that I carry myself forth in, whether it's parenting, being in my relationship with my husband, money, career, all that. And my life has dramatically changed by becoming aware that what the lack and limitation is and being able to change and shift into abundance. And that's what I dedicate my coaching practice in, and helping people move into that natural state of what abundance is. So I just applaud you for taking on such a big and important and amazing subject. And I'd love to find out, what inspired you to create this movie?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, first of all, thank you so much for the very epic intro and talking about abundance, because basically what had happened with me is that I was working at a venture capital firm in my early 20s. I just turned 26 last week.
Yeah, baby. He's just
I'm a baby. I'm a baby. I was in my early 20s and I was working at a venture capital firm. And I was making good money, but I wasn't really fulfilled. And what I always wanted to do was make movies ever since I was like 5 years old.
Wow.
And then there was basically an event in my life where something really strange happened. I'll condense it for you, but everyone can watch it in the movie. Where I was really overworked and I was stressed out. What I ended up doing was sleepwalking and walking off the edge of a second-story balcony in the middle of the night.
Nice.
And I woke up in the emergency room, just one of those, it was like a
You're
weird
serious.
horror movie.
This wasn't a dream.
This is serious. This really happened. And doctors are nervous. My parents are there. They're scared. I'm terrified because last thing I knew, I was asleep. And then they're running around. They're doing these tests. And then when everything comes back, it turns out that I'm okay. I didn't have any broken bones. I had a few scratches, but I was totally okay. And so for anyone who wants to Google this, because it's really bizarre and it actually happens to a lot of people, it's called parasomnia pseudo-suicide. And I didn't know anything about this until it happened to me.
Of course, why would you?
Yeah, exactly. Who Googles this? Who Googles this in their free time?
Right.
So anyways, after this event happened, it really, really scared me because, I was young. I was like 22, so you feel invincible and you think I have all the time in the world to chase my dreams, to do what I want to do. And then in an instant, life says, no, you don't. And I was like, okay, if at any point I could go to bed and maybe not wake up again, then I better take action right now on what I want to do. So what do I want to do? And it came back to that. I want to make movies. I wanted to travel, and I wanted to, help change the world in whatever way I could. And so I quit my venture capital job, doing consulting for them. I went to film school in Hollywood, and for a little Canadian boy, that was very exciting. I came out and I decided that I want to make a movie on abundance. I want to make a movie on how other people can live their dreams, because almost having that taken away from me was so terrifying that I didn't want that to happen to anyone else ever again. So I packed up a bag, hired a film crew, and we traveled across 7 countries, and we interviewed 21 experts on happiness, success, and abundance. And that movie came together, and it was called The Abundance Factor.
Love it. Absolutely love it. That's amazing. You know, for me, I feel like that's the divine in you, the inner being in you, waking you up to a bigger purpose and your bigger potential. Because obviously when we're stressed and we're unfulfilled and we're unhappy, it's like something has to break to break through. And so it's so great that you found the awakening in that contrasting experience, because so many people don't, right? It's like so many people don't wake up to that, and you had the ability to go, all right, wake up here. And you woke up, and then not only woke up, it wasn't like something you just felt good about for a couple of weeks, and you totally changed your life and did everything necessary. I mean, that's why I would say it's like alignment and momentum. So you got back aligned with truly what mattered to you. And then you took every step you quit your job. You went and, became a student to learn, and you actually traveled and did it. So it's amazing. What a great role model you are, even though you're, such a young guy. It's amazing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I think you're right. And, but one of the questions I always get asked is like, do I have to wait for something in my life that's horrible to get started? And it's always like, no, don't do what I did. Like,
exactly.
There will always be whispers from the universe before there's a loud scream.
Yes.
I didn't listen to those whispers, and I waited for the scream. But if you're out there watching this, listen to those whispers and just take action right now. Do what's inside of you.
Absolutely. I think Oprah Winfrey used to say that there's the whispers and there's the screams, and then you get that 2x4 across the head. So I believe you got a 2x4 across the head.
I'm pretty sure I got a 2x4. I think you're right.
He's like, wake up.
Yeah. Come on, Riley.
But you heard it. So that's
yes, I did.
So I would love to know, like, of all the people, the 21 experts that you interviewed, like, what was the biggest takeaway for you from the movie?
Yeah, that's a great question. I learned so many things on this journey. I mean, one of the first questions that I asked everyone was, what does abundance mean to you? And I asked that to 21 people, and I got 21 different answers. So that's what's so cool about abundance.
Yeah.
So that right there was a learning experience for me, because you think it's just going to be this definition and everyone's going to have like the same 5 words, but it's different for every person.
Yeah.
But I would say that there was kind of like 3 things that I noticed that every person that I talked to had in common. And that was that every person had a crystal clear vision of what they wanted to achieve in life. It wasn't murky. It wasn't kind of an idea. It was crystal clear. Yeah. And then the second thing was that everyone took action. There was, they didn't just say, oh, I have the greatest idea for a book. I have the greatest idea for a movie. And then they sit there and go, oh, one day. Yeah. All of them took action. And then the last thing was that they all were able to overcome those obstacles in their lives. So, whenever you take action, you're going to hit those roadblocks, and they were all able to overcome those. So I've kind of taken, like, those are always the 3 steps that I try to do. Like, what's as clear as I can be on what I'm trying to do? How can I just take 1 step today and then never let those roadblocks stop you? So that was kind of those 3 things that everyone seemed to have in common.
And I love that you're bringing that up, because I think a lot of people, that would watch an expert or an author or, will go, oh, they've got it all together. They've got doors opening all over the place for them. They never have any fears. They never have any doubts. They don't have any roadblocks. They don't have any limiting beliefs. They don't have any bad perspectives. I mean, they just think of something they want and then they get it. And right. I think that, people have said that to me. Well, you're a New York Times bestselling author, and you know how to manifest. And it's like, yeah, but I still have limiting beliefs. After 20 years of doing this work, I still have limiting beliefs that come up that I need to, because we're always desiring for more, and we're always at a different vibrational level than when we birthed the idea. So there's always that gap. And if we didn't have the gap, we'd already have the thing. So whatever is in that gap, we have to either let go of, we have to either become more of, we have to change our perspective, we have to adopt a new belief. There's something that has to be let go in order for something new to come in. So I love that you're bringing that up, because no matter if they're an expert, if they're an author, whatever, if they're a coach, they're human, and they all have that happening, but they continue to move forward in spite of all those things that happen.
Absolutely. And what was so interesting is when I was talking to Joe Vitale, and so we went out to his house. He lives outside of Austin, Texas. I'd also never been to Texas because I was just a little Canadian farm boy. And we go into his office to do this interview, and it's just surrounded in guitars, hundreds of guitars. And I'm like a guitar freak. Like I love guitars. And he had guitars that were worth like $100,000, like custom made. And I said, like, do you play? Like, do you make albums? Do you record songs? And he said, yeah, I just started. And I was like, you just started doing all this? And he's like, yeah, I think he has something like 20 albums out now.
Yeah.
But he only started like 5 years ago. Like most people, it takes them like a lifetime to make 5 records or 1 record.
Right.
And I was like, how did you do this? And he said, well, for a long time, I thought I was too old to ever get started. So, even Joe Vitale, the guy from The Secret, the guy who's written all these books, he had these limiting beliefs that says, I'm too old to play guitar. I'm too old to write a song. I'm too old to make a record. And he said, what I did was ask myself, where's the evidence? Where's the proof that I'm too old to do this? And he said when he looked around for evidence that he couldn't be a rock star, when he looked for evidence that he couldn't make an album, there wasn't any. So then he said, why not go do it? So he told me, if you want to do this, if you want to do anything, always look for that evidence for why you can't. And when you inevitably don't find it, then just take action.
Absolutely. That's great advice from Mr. Joe. He's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I know that you have a free gift for everybody, which I'm really excited because like I said, my biggest thing, I feel like the biggest thing that I teach and the biggest thing that if we help people shift from lack and limitation to abundance, Buckminster Fuller said it years ago that we're in the age of abundance. And it wasn't the case, when our parents and even our grandparents were living, and, they were in the Great Depression. They did have real lack and real limitation. But it's not like that anymore. We've expanded into such a creative knowing and connection, and the ability that most people have either heard or are applying, at least in my world, that your thoughts create your own reality.
Mm-hmm.
We all heard that, at least if you're in this community. And if you're applying it, it's a whole nother level of understanding and a whole other level of manifestation. But for them to watch this movie where you have these 21 experts, share their experience, it's phenomenal. And I know what you're saying because years ago when my book, The Art of Having It All, came out, I interviewed 160 top experts.
Oh, wow.
And I asked them all the same 4 questions and no answer was the same. And it really surprised me because like you, I thought, oh, they're going to say, oh, this or that or that, and it was all different. So I'm really looking forward to my tribe being able to watch the movie. So share with us what you're giving everybody, please. Yeah.
So what's very cool is I went on this journey. We made this movie and it came out and I'm like, how am I going to get this out to the world? Like, how do I want to do this? And one of those big lessons that I learned in the movie was this idea of giving. And when you give to the universe, more always comes back to you. And this was a very foreign theory to me. I was kind of living in scarcity where you want to hold on to everything. And I'm like, I made a movie. I have to charge for it, sell it. And I was like, do you know what, Riley? You made this movie, you learned these lessons, apply these lessons to this film. And so I said, why not just give the movie away for free? Just let people watch it for free. And I'm sure if I give it away, more will come back. So what we've done is we've actually built a special page where everyone watching this can watch the movie for free for 5 days. So I think there's a button down below this video. You can click that, go there, and you can watch the entire Abundance Factor for free for 5 days.
Love it. That's such a great gift. And it's very smart. And again, I want to really commend you for interviewing these experts, hearing what they had to say, and then implementing, taking action on that and implementing, even though your psyche, didn't know that to be true. But you heard it from all these experts that said, giving is a way to receive more abundance, which is absolutely a spiritual principle, universal law. Yet the physical man, the man that you are, didn't know that to be a point of reference for yourself. So you had to take a leap of faith in order to do that and trust that those people that are the experts, could guide you in that way. And then you took action on that. So I just really want to commend you for that because that's not a lot of people do that. And
thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I'll say to everyone out there, it really works. It's not a woo-woo idea. when you give, things come back to you. And I've experienced that tenfold with giving this movie away. Everything that's come back to me is more than I feel that I've ever given to the world. So it's my gift, my privilege to be able to let everyone here watch it for free.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, because I'm always wanting any guest that I have to come on to give something of value, because it's from that principle of giving, so appreciate you being in alignment with that. And it's been really awesome connecting with you. And I am thrilled actually to stand by and watch and see what you do, because, I'm 20 years older than you, and I know the difference that I'm making in people's lives. And I started 10 years ago, and you're doing this at a young age, and I've already made such a huge, huge impact. And so I can't wait to see what you're going to be doing in 20 years. It's going to be, I'm going to sit back and just applaud and watch. So I'm proud to be serving with you, Riley.
Well, I really, really appreciate that. And we will get you in the next movie. It's a promise right here to everyone watching this video. Yay! You're going to be in the next movie.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So appreciate you being here. And you guys, tell us what you're taking away from this. Let us know what what shifted for you, because during these conversations, there's lots of points of nuggets, lots of ahas that can happen just in the conversation. So let us know what you're taking away. And I really highly recommend, there is a limitation on it, unfortunately, that it's 5 days. So go ahead and carve out some time in your schedule, click the link below, do whatever you need to do to be able to watch this, because much like The Secret, and affected and shifted so many different people, this has the potential to do that for you as well. So thanks so much, Riley. Thanks, everybody. Have a really awesome week. Bye. Thanks for watching, and here is a related video to watch right now. Also, check out my free webinars on creating whatever you want in your life using the universal laws that I explain in each webinar. So share your thoughts by leaving a comment and continue the conversation at ChristyWhitman.com.